Now, our next topic is power set. Now, this is a very important point, very important topic in sets. You have to understand what a power set is. But before we understand this power set, let us first understand that what are the possible subsets of a given set. The definition, I'll come to the definition later on. But first of all, let us come to what are the possible subsets. Now, for this, let us first of all understand, you have to note down certain things. The first thing is that phi is the subset of every set. Every set has got phi as its subset. That means what? If you are seeing any particular set, set A, what is there inside A? Whatever it is. How many elements are there? Whatever elements are there. So that means what are the elements and how many elements are there, that is not the question. Even if there is not a single element, then also. Even if there is no single element, then also. And apart from that, if the set is containing some elements, 1 element, 2 element, 3 element, how many elements it is containing, we are not bothered about that. So I am taking any particular set. So if I am taking any set, they will always say phi is the subset of any given set. If you remember subset in my previous lecture, please see the previous video. If you do not understand what a subset is, you will easily get to know. So phi is a subset of A. So how can you say that? Say for example, if you are having an empty room, that empty room can be transformed into any other room. But an already filled room cannot be transformed, or there is a difficulty in transforming it into some other room. For example, if you have made a toilet, so that toilet cannot be transformed into a dining room. If you have made a kitchen, the kitchen cannot be transformed into what? A bedroom. Why is it so? Because the structures are like that those structures will not fit into the criteria of the rooms in which you are trying to transform them into. Are you getting my point or not? So, but an empty room means what? This simple room. This simple room can be transformed into any other particular room. If you want to transform it into kitchen, okay fine, few more modifications are need to be done and it can easily be transformed into a kitchen. If you want to transform it into a bedroom, yes it can be done. Drawing room, yes it can be done. So that means the structure will fit into the criteria of every other room. But an already made thing, a thing which is already made, already defined, transforming them into some other might create some difficulty. I am saying might. I am not saying always will create difficulty, might create some difficulty. Similar to that, an empty set can anytime be transformed into any other set. You just need to fill the right and appropriate element. Are you getting my point or not? Suppose if you are making a food item, and in that you have already put say oil and you have put some masala, say paneer masala you put onto that. And after putting paneer masala, I'm asking you to convert it into some other thing. Say for example, I want to make some sabzi. Now making sabzi with paneer masala is not that difficult. Okay, it can be done. But will you get the exact taste? That means by tasting, by trying that particular food item, that sabzi, can you say that paneer delicacy can be obtained? No, it cannot be obtained. You can do that, that's a separate thing. But a thing which is already made, transforming it into some other thing is very difficult. But in the initial stage, you have just put an oil onto that or an empty kadai. Now you want to mix any particular item onto that. Okay, that is fine, because right now it's not filled. It can be filled with appropriate substances which can easily contribute towards the transformation of that particular thing into the desired character which you want to. So similar to that, an empty set can always be filled with any other set. Right now it's not filled, it's empty. Right now it is empty. Later on, if you want to do that, you can easily do that. Based on that, you can say that empty set can be transformed into any other set. By that logic, you can say phi is the subset of every given set. Apart from that, now suppose if I am having a set A, say the set A is comprised of elements 2 and 3. Set A is comprised of elements 2 and 3. Now if I ask you, what are the possible subsets of this given set? What are the possible subsets of this given set? The possible subsets can be what? First of all, phi is a possible subset of A. First one. Phi is the subset of every given set. So when I am asking about the possible subsets, what are the subsets? What are the sets which can be categorized as the subsets of A? One of them would be phi definitely, because as I told you right now, phi is the subset of every given set. Apart from that, the second subset that I can have is only 2. Only 2 is a subset of A. Yes, it is. That means this is a set which is containing element 2. Is this element 2 contained in set A? Yes, it is there. This set is having 2 as an element. Is A having 2 as an element? Yes, it is having. That is why single 2 is said to be what? A subset of A. So you will say similarly I can have 3 also. So yes, we can have 3 also, a subset of A. And as you remember that every set is a subset of itself. This point I should write it down over here. Every set is a subset of itself. Every set is a subset of itself. That means set A was 2 and 3 combined. So this is also a subset of A. Even if it is equal set, I discussed it in the previous video why this is there. So you can see the previous video and then you can come to the conclusion. So this is a subset of A. So that means we got 4 possible subsets of this set A. Let us take some other example. If I talk about A, this was one example. Suppose if A is having only 2, so how many subsets will be there? First one, phi will definitely be there. Phi is a subset of A. Second one, only 2. So only 2 is set A only. This is also a subset of A. Now can you point out some other subsets of A? They will say no, there is no such other subsets possible. Let me take another example. Say I am having A equals 1, 2 and 3. So how many subsets are possible? First one, phi, subset of A. Second, you will take single elements. Say only 1, subset of A. Say only 2 is a subset of A. Only 3 is a subset of A. You have taken single elements and you have said okay, these are the subsets. Apart from that, fifth one, now start taking 2 elements. That means 1 and 2 combined, subset of A. Then next one, 1 and 3 combined is a subset of A. Then the next one, 2 and 3 is again a subset of A. And the last one, now taking 3 altogether, that means the set in itself is a subset of itself. So based on this, if I try to deduce a formula out of it, if I am having one element, then I am having 2 possible subsets. If I am having 2 elements, then I am having 4 possible subsets. If I am having 3 elements, then I am having 8 possible subsets. That means based on the cardinality, if you remember, number of elements in a given set are said to be the cardinal points or cardinality. So the cardinality of a set, based on this, if you try to define a formula, so if you are having 1, then you will be having 2. If 2 is there, then you will be having 4. If 3 is there, you will be having 8. So this shows what? And the formula I can put as, that means number of possible subsets of a given set is given by the formula 2 to the power n. Try this formula over here. If n is 1, where n is what? I am writing down over here, where n is the order of set. So the order of set is 1. So 2 to the power 1 is 2. Order of set is 2. So 2 to the power 2 is 4. Order is 3. So 2 to the power 3 is 8. So based on this number of elements you can find it out. So I am giving you one homework. You please try and do A having elements 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now I am having 4. So based on this, first of all you find out how many possible subsets be there. Since there are 4 elements, so the number of subsets would be 2 to the power 4. That is 16. So that means 16 possible subsets must be there. Out of those 16 possible subsets, one would be 5, another would be the set itself. 2 sets are already a subset of any particular given set. Apart from that, you can take single elements 1, single element 2, single element 3, single element 4. Then combine two elements 1 2, 1 3, 1 4, 2 3, 2 4, 3 4. And then afterwards you will be having 3 elements 1 2 3, 1 2 4, 2 3 4. And then you will be having 4 elements 1 2 3 4. These are the 4 possible subsets. I told you in this video, you try to do it by yourself. Still if you find out difficulty, first of all you try to do it by yourself without noting down what I told you right now. Otherwise you can play back the video and you can see what are the subsets I have named, and based on that you can write it down in your copies. So please note the things which are written on the board, and based on this the power set that we were talking about. So the power set is basically what? A set of all possible subsets. So that means these are the possible subsets of A in this case. These are the possible subsets of A in this case. These are the possible subsets of A in this case. So if you combine all these elements and you put them inside one set, if you try to take all these sets and you put them inside another set, a complete set, that set is known as the power set of A. So I need to write it down. So I want you to please pause it to note down the video, and then I'll write it down over here only. So here, suppose if I am talking about this example, this is set A, then power set of A is written as capital P within bracket A. So you will call it as P of A. That is power set of A. Is written as, what are the possible subsets you receive? You got 5, you got set 2. Now these two things are put inside a main set. Here you need to understand one thing, that these things are elements. This is the place for elements. Since this is my set, this is my power set. The powers for power set, these are the elements. But the point that should be noted over here is that the elements are in themselves basically some sets. This 5 is basically a set. 2 is basically right now over here is a set. But when these sets are put inside another set, or rather I should say that when the possible subsets are put inside another set, then that particular set is known as the power set. That means what? Say for example, you have read in your the previous lectures, in history you might have read that we were having some kings, and we were having one Badshah like a supreme commander. Say for example the Mughals. There were so many kings who were ruling under Mughals. So that means if I consider this thing, say for example a particular the king of Jodhpur, say king of Maharashtra, say king of these particular places. There were different places. I am not good at history. I am just trying to give an example. Say there are different kings, okay, all over India. All those kings are having their own subjects. Say for example king of Jodhpur. Now Jodhpur's king is already having his subjects. What are his subjects? His subjects are the people who are living in Jodhpur. So they all are directly answerable to whom? To that king of Jodhpur. So that king in itself is a superior set, and the elements inside it were the people, the citizens or the countrymen who were living in where? Jodhpur. So based on that, the king of Jodhpur was said to be what? the set. Similar to that, there were other states also who were having their own kings, but all the kings are also answerable to that supreme lord, that Mughal Badshah. So that means what? He is the supreme leader. So that supreme leader is containing what? All the kings. So the people of Jodhpur are indirectly coming under that Mughal Badshah. But any rule made by Mughal Badshah cannot be directly implied onto this particular case. Or some other example I must take. Say for example, you are having central government. The central government and there are state governments. State governments which are functioning in different states. Now for example, right now, Prime Minister is there in the central government. If he tries to devise some rule, now that rule, when it is to be implemented in different states, these are implemented in a various versions. Say every particular state right now, the Prime Minister extended the lockdown till 3rd May. But still, if any particular state wants, they can extend it for further more days. They can extend the version. They can not curtail the versions which was given by, or the verdict which was given by the Prime Minister, but they can put their own amendments onto that. They can modify it. That means modification can be done by this superior sets, because these are the immediate superior set. But based on that, you can say the ultimate set is what? The Prime Minister. So that Prime Minister is comprised of all the union ministers and cabinet ministers and state ministers. So these things are already representatives. They all are in itself sets. But when they come inside the power set, the sets lose their identity and they start behaving as an element for the power set. They themselves, when considered individually, they are sets. But when coming all together inside the power set, at that moment they start behaving as an element. So I can say here phi belongs to the power set of A. Phi belongs to set A. But phi, this is not belongs to, phi was a subset of A. But when you are talking about power set, so for the power set, phi loses its identity of being a set and phi becomes what? An element. An element always belongs to the set. Element is never a subset of a set. Can you say that suppose if 2 was there, can I say 2 belongs to A? Yes, it is true. But if I say 2 as a set belongs to A, no, this is wrong. When 2 becomes a set, so a set is a subset of another set. A set is a subset of another set. But a set belongs to the power set. When you are talking about power set, in case of a power set, this is not any set anymore. This is not a set anymore. Right now, it has become an element for it. Point understood? This is a very important point. Similarly, 2 as a set will belong to the power set. But when you are talking about only phi, the phi is a subset of A, true, and 2 is a subset of A, true. Getting my point or not? This is also true, this is also true. This is subset and this is set. So 2 as a set belongs to the power set, but 2 as a set is a subset of A. So A subset becomes the element for the power set. This point is clear. Similarly, this particular thing can also be put all together. The phi, set 1, set 2, set 3, set 1, 2, set 1, 3, set 2, 3, set 1, 2, 3. If all of those sets are put inside a main set by separated by commas, so that main set would be known as the power set of this one. So I hope the thing is clear. Still, if you find out difficulty in understanding the lecture, then kindly put up your doubts in the WhatsApp group. You send it to me, or you can mail me directly to my Windows personal window. You can write in my personal window directly and ask the question. Based on that, if it is still problematic, you ask the question and I will try to make the video once again explaining all those particular doubts that you people are having. Or we'll try to find out some other way to sort it out. But please pause the video to note it down and try to make the power set of this set A. Try to make the power sets of everyone and specifically this one. This one I have not written. So try to form this power set of A in this particular case. So please pause the video to note it down.